The time is now to architect a life of excellence. What will we do? Who will we become? We decide today. This is Learn, Do, Become Radio with April and Eric Perry. Let's move onward and upward together.
Hello and welcome to Learn, Do, Become Radio. I'm April Perry, and today we're talking about the 3-box method for organizing your space. But I want to be really clear at the very beginning that Learn, Do, Become is actually not a website focused on decluttering, which I know is so crazy because we talk about it a lot. But really, we're about architecting lives of excellence. We want you to have a strong family, a healthy body. We want you to be able to connect with your higher power. We want you to be able to live your purpose. And it's really hard to do that when you're living in clutter, when you are drowning in details, when you have stuff everywhere and you can't even think about goal setting or a life of excellence because you feel like there is so much to do and I just have stuff all around me. So today we're going to share just a very simple idea that has been really helpful to hundreds of thousands of people in our community here at Learn, Do, Become. Eric and I teach a class called How to Finally Stop Drowning in Piles, where we help you learn how to organize your mind. And then therefore your space becomes more organized. But so often we'll have people in the class who will identify a room or a space they want to organize. They'll say something like, I need to get my garage or my desk or my office area or my bedroom. I just need to get it organized, but I don't even know where to start. Like, honestly, that's just what's keeping them stuck. They don't even know where to start. So often we talk about this 3-box method, and just bringing up the concept often brings a sense of relief, thinking, okay, I could start there. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So step number 1, I want you to pick a space. I don't care which space it is, but I want you to ask yourself this. What is one space that is full of clutter and driving me crazy? It might be the junk drawer that's in your kitchen or office. Again, it might be like the garage, desk, whatever. But I want you to think, what is that space where if we could get this thing looking awesome, you would feel like you had a new lease on life? All right, now do you have that space pictured in your mind in all its current glory? All right, now we're ready for step 2. I want you to just label 3 boxes. Now, you're simply going to get 3 large boxes. Now, if you think, well, I don't have large boxes right now, you could use trash bags. You could use laundry baskets. You could even just designate a spot on the floor, okay, and label that. But you're going to label that space, box, bag, basket, whatever you want to call it, as follows. To donate, to toss, or to put somewhere else. Okay, just those 3. Easy. You could use little index cards. You could use a little piece of paper, Post-it note, whatever. Just very simple. To donate, to toss, to put somewhere else. Okay, so far, let's just imagine in our minds, we're sitting in this really messy spot that's driving us crazy. You might even feel a little stressed out even just being near it and thinking about it. Don't worry about it. You're just going to go and we're going to solve the problem. You're going to have your 3 labels, and now you're ready for step 3. I want you just to pick one spot in that room or in that space, and then you're just going to begin to work clockwise. Now, if it's something just a drawer, fine, you can just do that one drawer. But if it's something like, okay, I'm standing in my office, we're just going to pick one spot, and then we're going to go clockwise. You literally pull everything out of the first spot. It could be a cupboard, a drawer, section of a closet. You're going to put as much as possible into those 3 boxes. Now, first of all, you're going to donate like crazy, because why hold on to something that you don't use when it could bless someone else? If you want to take a photo of it and put that in Evernote, you can label it, then you can visit it virtually anytime you want. But let's donate. Let's get rid of those shoes you haven't worn in 3 years. And there's all kinds of resources online about questions you can ask and how you can decide what to get rid of. But honestly, if you haven't used it in a long time, if it's taking up valuable space, if it's kind of stressing you out to hold on to it, let's donate. Let's bless someone else. Then you are going to toss or recycle everything you can. Even that little mechanical doodad that you thought you'd repair someday. And there's even a lot of things that we keep. Like I had this boom box that I carried with me. We moved with it, I think twice, and it was broken. I think the tape player worked, but the CD player didn't. And I wasn't even using tapes anymore. And it had an AM FM radio. So I thought, well, I'll keep it. But it was huge. And I didn't even like it. And it was broken. And I don't think I could have even donated it because I don't want broken things when you donate. So let's toss or recycle everything that we can. And then anything that really belongs in a different spot of your home, it's going to temporarily sit in the to put somewhere else box. You're not going to go put it where it belongs at this point, because then you're just going to get derailed and you'll find something else you need to do. So you're going to stay in your spot. Just put it in that to put somewhere else box. This includes the streamers that belong with birthday party supplies, but somehow ended up in your kitchen cupboard. It also includes the screwdriver that is still sitting on the bathroom counter and the dishes that ended up on your nightstand. Now, if you're having a hard time parting with your clutter, I did a podcast, episode 49, about Marie Kondo's awesome book, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. She recommends you simply keep the items that spark joy. So instead of keeping items that you feel guilty if you throw away or that you might need someday, you're going to get rid of as much as you can and just keep that which sparks joy. I promise you won't regret it. Then once you've put the majority of your stuff into one of those 3 boxes, you look at what's left, which will be the best of the best, and you put those things back into the original space, which will now feel huge and totally uncluttered. Isn't that lovely? All right, step number 4. Now it's time to empty those boxes. So when you've completed your decluttering session, you've done, one section at a time, you've moved clockwise, you're going to just get those boxes empty so they're fresh for the next time, right? Go put things that donate, maybe put them in some garbage bags and put them in the trunk of your car and make a little note to run an errand and make that donation. The things that go in the trash or recycle bin, go do that immediately. Things that go somewhere else, yes, go put them in the somewhere else places. And if you find that they're cluttered, that's okay. You can add them to your list and get those organized. And I know it sounds kind of overly simplistic, what I've just outlined, but it totally works. And I'm just going to share a little personal example about how I've applied this in my life. So as I was preparing this post, I realized that I have a reading basket that had gotten so full that I was never even using it anymore. We have a read review basket we talk about in our STEP system, Steps to Everyday Productivity, that's STEP. And having a place to put things you want to read or review is wonderful. But it's not a bookshelf. It's supposed to be like a basket. But I have a photo of my basket you can find on the show notes page. If you go to learndobecome.com/episode 51, you'll see what I'm talking about. But I just had a basket and it was just kind of full of books. But the fact that I wasn't using it at all and it was just sitting there drove me crazy. So in order to personally apply what I've just outlined previously and show you how easy this is, I just made decluttering that basket a 5-minute project. So easy. And here's what I did. And I have pictures to show you so you can look through it if you want. So first, I simply took everything out and I put it into 3 piles. To donate, to toss, to put somewhere else. And then I put back the items I actually wanted to keep in the basket. So that took 5 minutes, not a big deal. And it looked so much better when you look at the photo. The basket only had like 4 things in it. And then there are all these piles of stuff that I didn't even need to do anything with. So in these 3 piles I have photographed. First, I tossed and recycled the middle pile. Then on the left side, I had to donate. So I put the 2 books to donate into our donation bags that we kept in the garage. And then I just assessed the to put somewhere else pile because that one was the biggest. I think there's like 10 books in there or something like that. Interestingly, half the books were books that I wanted to keep or just put back onto our bookshelves. That was easy. The other half were books or resources that other family members stuck in the basket and then forgot about. So I just need to ask them, hey, what do you want to do with that? But then that little project was totally done. Now, here are some questions that you might have as you're going through this process. What if I have a hard time getting rid of things? I hear this all the time. Now, we'll obviously be talking about that periodically here at Learn, Do, Become, but I would definitely recommend Julie Morgenstern's books. One that she has is called Shed Your Stuff, Change Your Life, and another one is called Organizing from the Inside Out. Now, Julie and I recorded a podcast together. I highly recommend it. It's called Secrets for What to Do When You Want to Keep Everything. We'll have that linked on our show notes page. So if you're thinking, oh, those books sound good, or I want to listen to the podcast, just go to learndobecome.com/episode 51, and we'll go ahead and take care of that for you, okay? And then the essence of these resources is that you can keep anything you love, but you need to understand what may be going on psychologically and train yourself to let go of all the stuff that's weighing you down. I know it's hard, but if you really want to streamline your life, it's possible to learn this skill. Another question you might be asking is, well, what if the stuff I'm organizing won't fit in a box? Now, yes, that obviously happens when you're sorting larger spaces, but again, simply create temporary piles and either label them with signs or make sure they're clearly defined in your head. When you're organizing a garage, for example, you might have huge things, huge boxes, lots of stuff. Just keep it in that section. It's totally fine. Another question is, well, what if the to-toss pile feels huge and can't be taken by our weekly trash truck? That's something that I've totally had happen to me. Now, if that's the case, then congratulations, because you're getting rid of some big things. But you can schedule a large item pickup, typically in your city, as soon as you see that that's about to happen. In our town, we get 3 of those a year, and it feels amazing to pile up all those broken things on the curb. So if you know, hey, I'm doing some serious decluttering, I'm going to have a lot of stuff, go ahead and find the phone number for large item pickup, call, schedule, or put it on your phone calls list if you're using our next actions, and then make that happen. It's going to be awesome. Here's another question. If I put a lot into the somewhere else box, won't that just move the clutter around? Now, initially, it may feel that way, but here are a few things to remember. First, you are only putting things into that pile that you love and value. Alice Osborne is the author of one of my favorite decluttering books called It's Here Somewhere. And again, I have a link to that on our show notes page. And she suggests that you ask these questions. Do I like it? Do I use it? Do I need it? And do I have room for it? Such good questions. The things that you're putting somewhere else are the keepers, so you will have space soon. Second, you're going to put these things where they make sense. Now, I don't know why we do this, but we end up sticking random items into random places and then we can never find them. So as I'm putting things into better spots, here's what I ask. If I were to look for this, like in the future, where would I go? Let's imagine myself 6 months down the road and I'm looking for painter's tape. Where would I go for that? Would I go in the kitchen drawer? Would I go in the garage? Would I go in my desk drawer? Where would I look for it? And then that's where I put it, where I would usually look for it. And then third, if you move that item to a spot that you haven't yet decluttered, it will feel like one more thing heaped onto the pile, but it's only temporary. Because as you're working through your home or office, once you get to that spot and you do the 3-box sorting method, those items will be some of the select few that will stay. A lot of the stuff that's currently there is going to be recycled or donated or put somewhere else. But here's the thing. You have important things to do. And clutter doesn't need to stand in your way. There are much better uses for your physical and mental energy. I'm excited for you to try this 3-box method and see how it works for you. So here's your challenge. Take one space in your home or office and just try this method today. Then come back to the show notes page and share in the comments how it went. And if you want to send us a photo, please do. It's so fun. If you have not yet attended our free class, it's at learndobecome.com/step. We are working on 25,000 step command centrals. I was helping my teenage son the other day organize his room. He had a bunch of papers and he sat down. He's like, Mom, I don't know what to do with these papers. And I said, honey, do you know that this is what Dad and I do? Like for a living. We teach people what to do with papers. Let's do it. So I sat down with him. I opened up the STEP program. I showed him the STEP diagram. I explained how the system worked. We went through the flow chart. I showed him how every single paper had a landing spot. Now his papers are all totally organized, and I'm not sure if he totally has it yet, but moving forward, he knows where to put things. For example, I taught him how to get his emails to 0, which is part of our STEP program as well. When he was, 12, when he got his email account, he's kept his emails at 0 for the last 4 years. He can totally do that. Now that I'm teaching him how to organize papers and where to put those, like he's got that, or he will. We'll practice a little more. But it's so fun when you know where to put things, you know how to organize things, and it feels amazing. So if you haven't yet learned about our 25,000 Command Central Challenge, come to learndobecome.com/step25K. So I've given you 3 URLs for today. All of the links that I've talked about will be on the show notes page. So if you're just going to pick one, go to learndobecome.com/episode 51. So happy you're here. Have an amazing day. Please do share this podcast with your friends. And the other thing I would love to ask is if you would please rate and review the podcast. But I don't want the review to be just about me or Eric. I would prefer that you leave a review as a report back on what you specifically accomplished in your life as a result of what you heard today. So you can go on to iTunes, and we even have, if you go to learndobecome.com/podcast, we have instructions on how to leave a review if you don't know how to do that. But I'd love for you just to report on something that you did. Celebrate your achievements. Celebrate getting out of this clutter and how you are moving forward each day to architect a life of excellence. We are so grateful for you. We are here for you, and we wish you the best. Have an amazing day. We'll see you soon at learndobecome.com.